already.
Y'all already in the wrong spot. Mind already in the wrong place.
Oh man! All right,
This
so
would be a goofy episode.
yes, the applause. The applaud. Yes. All right. Gunshot.
The gunshot.
All right.
we
I like it.
Are we shocked?
I think we're a little bit shocked. Welcome, everybody. Thank y'all for joining us on this new episode of the HotPot podcast. This is a cast, so we got everybody in the lab today.
This is right.
It's so early in the morning right now, man. I wish y'all were here with us. We like to start early. We're early birds in the studio, in the pad.
Right outside.
But in the studio today, we got myself, your lovely host, Sweet Pea Pierre. And here we have our second co-host. Y'all typically don't see him. We got Thomas in the house.
Hey.
Y'all give it up.
What's the fucking deal?
All I can see is Tony. And then we got our other co-host. We got Chaz in the house. As always.
What's up? Hey, your boy about to take a nap, man.
And then, of course, we have a special guest, my brother, Osagie.
He's here. The bad boy is here.
The bad boy.
Money bag boy. Yeah. So, how's everybody doing, man? How's everybody doing today?
Doing good.
You woke me up at 6 a.m. for this.
Yeah, I did. Sagi, and how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm fantastic.
Fantastic.
T, how you doing, Magoo?
Cool in the bitch.
Yeah.
I'm wide awake now, bro.
We can't do anything with Thomas, man.
Oh, man. Hey, Thomas in trouble.
I was about to go to sleep. This shit woke me up, bro.
Yeah.
I'm wide awake now, so we doing this.
Hey, we doing it.
Look. I've been trying to put this thing together, man, and I've been working to have you guys experience a new episode, man. Every time we push, there's a lot of elbow grease, and these elbows are so ashy now because of all the grease that's been getting into the works of this thing. But anyways, I got a couple of things on the topic list today, and I think it's gonna be a quite an interesting panel discussion. I'd say. All right. So first, we're gonna start off. We're gonna say that we want to talk about the HotPot breaking games that just happened today, because that was major success. Man, I had people all over my social media asking me about how could they enter into the competition, all this and that. Next, I kind of want to have a DreamCon recap as well, because I know for some of you guys it's your first time, and it's actually my second time. And I guess we can kind of talk about how this whole jam came into fruition from last year. And then we got some new Nike shoes, man. This is crazy because Nike came out with some shoes just specifically geared for breakers, and they put a lot of thought into it, and we really love it. So yeah, and then this is a little bit of a off topic, but I felt like it was still interesting, and I think since everyone covered it, I think we should cover it too. But the Trump assassination.
Ooh, we're getting political tonight.
Yeah, that's one crazy one. That's crazy.
That was a crazy ass sound effect. That was crazy.
And then I think we want to close out with the Paris round robin brackets, because this is pretty hot. It's spicy. Yeah,
that's gonna be a crazy conversation right there.
So thoughts, everyone's thoughts on the HotPot breaking games. We had a day 1, a day 2. How did everyone? Actually, let's go over day 1. How did everyone feel about day 1?
The setup was amazing, and everything looked like really nice. We had what we needed to have. The banners were crazy. The people that came threw down. I don't know, but the experience as like setting it up was one thing, but people that were assisting. I don't know how like y'all felt. Where Thomas, you weren't there.
Yeah,
but
it was great. I definitely think the space y'all had there, and then the banners for that were definitely like a key factor for like drawing people in, or like just having the presentation there.
Yeah.
Made it look really official.
Yeah. So I know, Chaz, it was your first time being part of organizing
like
a jam. So
major
being
event.
a part of that, like, what does it feel like? Because you've now seen like the inner workings and like what it kind of takes.
It's different than just serving one portion or one job of being at a jam.
Yeah.
Is, being part of one piece of it is okay. You come in, you do what you got to do. But when you're organizing it, there's so many questions you have to make sure you have answered and problems you have to solve. And, time comes down to it. You got to do some time management. You have to make sure you're checking things off. We had checklists, There were things that I think definitely learning experience to make sure everything went well. Having good people who can help was another huge thing. Like, good, competent people that really helped us out.
So T, what about you, man?
Well, I didn't make day one. I had fucked up anyway. But I did come the second day. So when we get to that conversation, I came the second day DreamCon. But actually, I had a question for you. Well, since all three of y'all were there, since y'all were on the other side of the first time of actually like throwing a jam, like, did y'all feel nervous doing it?
This ain't my first time. We've thrown Ether plenty of times.
Well, I mean, but this is the first time, like, it's like your actual baby, because like this is.
Yeah, I mean, I put a lot of work into this one, and coordinating with multiple different teams, trying to get the team from Houston to come through, having you guys come about, working on all the graphics, the flyers, the marketing.
Yeah.
It wasn't more so nervousness. It was just like I had a lot on my plate, and well, I mean, it could get really overwhelming. Like, so I just kind of like took a lot of things like one step at a time. But I'm glad I had you guys here to help, because I definitely couldn't do it without, if we lost any other legs, this would have been like
over a little hard, man. Over a little hard.
Yeah, but I mean, I put a lot of work. I know I carried a lot, and I wanted to. I felt accomplished because of that. It was something that I had in the working since last year. And I mean, Chaz was there, but I got up in front of a panel at DreamCon last year, and
man asked 11 questions.
a lot of people looked at me like I was crazy, man. They're like, "This man, like, this is your first year
on the actual Q&A portion?
Yeah. So Hype Beast was one of the people up there.
Yeah, High Plan. My bad.
High Plan was up there. And then they had a couple of other people on the panel as well.
Yeah.
And
business owners.
Yeah, and they had me. Well, actually, they had a whole long line of people who had questionnaires at the end of their panel, and they just left room for Q&A. And I got up there and I just asked a lot of questions like, "Hey, how do you become a part of this? How did you did all this and that?" And people looked at me like, "Yo, like this man asking a lot of questions." Look,
here's the moment. Here's the moment you decided to do that, because we went into the expo hall the first day, had a good time, broke it down. Right, other people was coming out in their cosplay, breaking it down in a circle, and you looked at me like, "We got to do something. We got to do this. We got to do this. We got to throw something." And from that moment on, you were looking at everything in the schedule that could go towards being able to get information on making that happen. Yeah. So that day 2 was all business, baby. Like, you was with it.
Yeah, so for real.
I admire you for that,
I appreciate it. I appreciate that. And I really do appreciate sharing this whole experience with you guys. Like, it wasn't the easiest thing, but
it definitely wasn't the fucking
especially carrying the floor. Me and Osagie got to carry that floor like four floors up the floor.
All right, so let's tap into it. So what really happened was these guys, him and him, had to bring up the floor. Pierre calls, I think, Charles, maybe? Or Kenny, he calls one of y'all.
I called Charles a couple of times. I like, bro, you need to hurry up, bro. You need to pick up.
We were trying to set up in the ballroom for the HotPot Jam for day 2 at actual DreamCon, and I guess Charles didn't answer his phone or whatever, and like I think you end up just going, or somebody went, and then I'm like, wait, I think Pierre needs extra help, so I go, and I didn't even see y'all. I just saw the wagon with the floor in there, man. I didn't realize that these motherfuckers were carrying gloves because they needed to carry the floor. I grabbed the bitch. My hands is fucking like this stuff just started sticking me. I was like, "What the hell is it?" And I'm picking up like it's like a piece of the floor. It's not even like 1/4 or 1/5. I picked that shit up, bro.
A piece.
I'm sweating, and I'm like, "What the fuck are these niggas?"
Well, the thing is, a lot of people didn't know. Like when we had to carry it from the car all the way down to the Hilton, and then from the Hilton we went into the elevator. Up to the fourth floor or sixth floor.
Yeah.
And then we had to carry it across the sky bridge in a zigzag.
I saw y'all in the window.
Man, by the time we got to the metal detectors at the top of the ACC at the Austin Convention Center, the lady, the security guard at the front was like, "Hey, you can't bring it here."
Yeah.
And she's like, now that you're here, you have to go back down to the first floor and then come through the ACC and then,
No.
you
All
gotta do
around to
this
the
stuff.
other side of the complete other side of the building, by the way.
Yeah.
And which was closed at that point.
Well, this is the confusing part because when we went to go pick up our panelist badges, the lady that I was trying to get my badges from, she was telling me, she was like, "Hey, no, that whole loading dock area is closed." So I was like, well, it's a good thing that I asked because me and Osagie, we were talking about it, about circling back to, and I think we were coordinated with you, but we're talking about circling back over to the loading dock area so that we could, just load from there. But since it was closed, apparently, then we were just like, all right, good thing we brought the wagon. We're going to have to carry this thing like everywhere we need.
That wagon was helping until that very moment.
I mean, the wagon helped regardless.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. So shout out Tony on that because we needed that.
Hey,
for real. I would tell y'all, so y'all seen the video. We had the floor down, right? But that that thing took time to get up there. It was pressed, but we got it down. We had to find a little solution. We had to block some gaps.
Yeah.
But the show must go on, so we put the thing together, man.
Yeah, we did get it done. Hey, you know what's actually funny? So before we actually started getting the floor set up, I actually just remembered when I went to go get more pieces of the floor after the first time, I remember the wagon being gone, and I actually didn't see y'all. So I think like this is when I told Kenny to like go and help the rest of y'all because I was hurry up and like sweating. My shirt was already drenched to like bring the piece of the floor that I was already struggling with without the gloves. So I guess he went, and then the rest of the guys were already over there. I came back to look for the wagon with the floors. So you know that guy that was sitting in the back? It was an old white dude. Yeah. I walked over him and I was like, "Hey, did you see the wagon over here?" He looked at me. He was like, he just looked at me stupid. He was like, "There was a wagon?" I was like, we're fucking looking at nothing. What are you doing sitting there? He's like, "I didn't see any guys over here. I didn't see a wagon."
No way.
So like, you didn't see nobody over here? I was like, this nigga is fucking useless. This nigga ain't doing shit.
Hey, man, you can't take Thomas nowhere, man.
I went back. I'm like, I'm sweating. My shirt is drenched. I smell like a bitch. I'm trying to look around.
Look. We had to get through that, but it was a hiccup we got through. And once we got through it, man, it was game on. So, like, looking at the scenes of not only what we got set up with Bruce having the whole DJ setup going, the banner setup.
But we gotta finish day one first.
Well, we already on day 2.
Yeah, technically, we skipped day 1, but we can go back to day 1. But
we can go back to day 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever. Yeah, look, whatever your heart feels, you go ahead and talk about that.
Hey man, I feel like we
so
overcame.
Okay, so even though it wasn't that day 1, I do remember you said that you guys actually did do the 7 of Smoke on Smash. How was that?
Yeah,
it was pretty good. One thing we did forget, we forgot some storage so that we can record the actual Smash battles. But so the thing is, we had this idea. I know Thomas, myself, Matthew. I think Chaz, you were part of it, maybe not, but we had this idea where we had played Smash Bros in a breaking setting, like in a 7 of Smoke type setting. So like we brought like 8 people onto one stage and then they would stand on one side. So for for people who don't really understand what a 7 of Smoke breaking bracket is, the thing is with the 7 of Smoke, you have 7 dancers standing to the side and you have one dancer, standing on the champion floor. One dancer, one by one, would leave from the 7 and then compete against that person. And whoever knocked him off, that person would circulate to the end of the line of the 7 on the other side. And then that person would be now the new champion of the floor. And then, they keep going up until, the champion would, that individual would attain maybe 7 different wins, or if the time ran out. So that's pretty much the style or structure of it. Now, the thing is, we did the same thing with breaking or with Smash.
Yeah.
Like, so we brought 8 people on Super Smash Bros. Like on the stage, and then one person, and we just went one by one, and whoever had the most kills at the end was
I'm gonna be honest, the MVP was that stage that y'all made.
Yeah,
the stage that was made for that was so perfect.
Oh, it was a custom stage?
Yeah, custom stage with a teleporter and a drop through.
It was good. We gotta give Matthew a big shout out for that. Because Matthew did his thing for real.
He made that stage. He made that stage that money.
Yeah, I gotta go back and watch and see what the.
Yeah, we got some footage of it because we did carry it with the pocket recorder. But overall, I thought it was pretty good. It was hype, and we had like a structure of things. Like we started off with
players too.
Yeah, so I mean, just kind of setting up day one. We started off with a workshop from B-Boy Session, and then we followed by some warm ups and stuff like that. Then we went into the Smash Bros. 7 the Smoke. Into the 2v2 breaking category, and from there we awarded our champions who would go with us over to DreamCon so that they can also compete with us, and us run the event similar to how we do things with my crew, Rad Crew, where we do things like Ether, or we do Fit Break, helping Jeffro do things. But overall, this was like a really cool experience on day one.
I think each thing you participated in on that first day, you felt a little. You felt fulfilled with, because if you were in the Smash tourney, number one, you're playing Smash, like you had a good time in the first place, right? But you were competing to win a ticket. Some of those people ended up being pretty good. They was on it.
Yeah.
And they got handed a ticket. If you were in the raffle, you had a ticket. If you had the 2v2 breaking, if you got past the top 8, you got a ticket. So I think everybody really felt good, especially about winning their first battle in that bracket. You could tell people were like, "Oh yeah. I'm going."
It was a lot of talent that I feel like don't get a lot of shine and recognition here in Austin. I felt like a lot of them were able to really be a part of that day too, and made things even better.
Yeah, reach a different audience.
Yeah. So I mean, you guys already heard mostly about everything that we've done on day 1 and day 2, but going a little bit more into detail, what do y'all think about day 2? Like, how do y'all think the overall structure of the event was? How do y'all think, like, from an audience perspective, how do you think that was?
I mean, the setup aside, and like getting into, once we got in past the security.
You got to pull your mic in towards your chest. Just pull it towards your chest.
Once we got in past security, I think setup was relatively smooth except for the floor. But everything was really cool, and then people were starting to filter in. Especially with Bruce.
Yeah.
Killing it and like drawing their attention. Yeah, he really like held them there.
What I think we didn't know was how many people would show up. To be honest,
I wish there was a better way to gauge that. I think if we had one of those rooms where they actually held people off at the door and said, let's give them a little bit of time to set up.
There's a way for people to add it to their schedule. I don't know if there's a way for us to know how many people have added it to their schedule, if you know what I'm saying.
Like through the app?
Oh, through the app.
Through the app. That's something that definitely can be looked at. But at the same time, it was like people were there before we got there to wait on that event, which was in anticipation of what we were going to do, which was cool. And then once everything was said and done with the setup and everybody was gathered around, everybody was over each other's shoulders, sitting down in kind of this like stadium rising format.
They built themselves.
Yeah.
It was a crazy transition. Like it was like everybody was sitting down when we were still bringing in the floors and everything. And then like Bruce was getting set up, and then everybody was trying to help out set up the lights, the floor, and everything. And even before we can like halfway get through the floor, I remember specifically because I got it on video. Bruce started playing music. Once Bruce started playing the music, you saw this crowd just build up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, we have to hurry up and finish because the anticipation was just building. It was like, damn.
And by that time I was like, I had to get on the mic, and that's the thing. I ran out to the wagon area to go grab Bruce's controller, and I grabbed Bruce, and I was like, hey, just take this, start playing. And then I think someone was like, I think it was you, Chaz. You're like, or someone told me they were like, you can start working with the crowd or whatever because we need to do something to like kind of keep them controlled. So I just had to jump on there and like like it was our first DreamCon, man. Hey. So man, y'all gotta give this up to us because we actually.
We work with it.
Yeah, like the thing is, what's it called when you do something spontaneous? Like we had to think on the spot. Like we had to like
improv.
Improv. There we go. Yeah. A lot of it was a lot of improv. I don't know why I was forgetting that word, but a lot of it was a lot of improv, and with it being our first official event in a room that can hold up to 900 people. I think we, nailed it pretty much. And the reception that we were getting were very positive. We had a lot of people really saying, "Hey, please come back. We need this."
Positive.
Yeah. So this is a shout out to the entire staff. Thank you everyone for being a part of that and making that happen.
Man, thank you for the people who came and actually were really enthusiastic about seeing what they were seeing and even participating. Yeah. We had dancers come through.
Look, I still got people messaging me right now. He's like, "Hey, I just saw your event on the app." And y'all did like actually, it's like, "Yo, I just saw that you a panelist for the hip hop dance off." Yeah, I'm just like, I don't even know a lot of these people who are sending me these messages. So.
All I know is people were excited.
Great job.
Yeah. All I know is people were excited to have even had something like that at DreamCon.
Yeah.
And the energy levels that they were bringing to just watching it.
For sure.
I don't think they were ready to see what they saw.
That we were the only ballroom that had anybody in it. All the other ballrooms were fucking empty.
Yeah. and that's the interesting thing. Like with events like this, like it really draws a crowd. And, you can kind of compare them against some of the other events that are going on. And I really do love some of the other ones that I've been to. But when you have something like this, we need space. We need like a bigger room. We can't have a small space to, try and run this whole entire competition / event because there's a lot of people who want to be a part of it. But at the same time, there's a lot of people who we need to accommodate space for, especially the dancers. We need a stage for them. We need all this other stuff.
And the floor has to be, vacated.
Yeah.
Time. So, yeah, we were almost in a much smaller room, and man, I'm glad we didn't get stuck with that. I woke up at 3 or 2 in the morning, still communicating about getting us a better room. Yeah.
But actually, so for you guys, Osagie and Thomas, what was it like being at your first DreamCon?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a little overwhelmed because like I had never really been to a convention, but seeing that it was a pro-black convention, and like the support there, the games, like I even met not met, but I got to see some like celebrities from like through my scene, which was like Tekken and a lot of other video games and stuff. It was amazing. Like, and I think that's why it was so overwhelming because I'm not the type of person that usually like goes out the house and go to events or like parties and stuff like that unless like it's like family or with y'all. So just being in there, it's like I ain't gonna lie, I feel like I was a little kid having a field day. Remember when they had field day back in elementary?
Yeah.
I was big ass fucking kids just running around looking at all this shit, posting mini videos.
I don't know how many times Thomas was telling me he was like, hey, this is blah blah blah. She's a Red Bull sponsor viewer.
Yeah, bro, they had Cuddlecore at fucking DreamCon panelists fucking commentary on they had a Tekken celebrity deathmatch. They had like Mark Phillips and Desmond and Leland and all of them playing, and they actually played pretty good.
Mark was
pretty good.
Oh yeah, he's playing with Link Xiaoyu.
Leland was
really good.
Yeah. I thought Leland was pretty good.
And what was crazy is that like even though like they're not like pro Tekken tournament players, because everybody know that we came to support DreamCon, which is RDC Worlds, and if you know them, it's all of them. We've been watching them since like we were in high school, but to see them play and make it look all cinematic, and you got an official top 5 Tekken player of United States commentating, and the other dude, Perfect Legend. I don't know where he's from, but I think he's pretty big in the gaming scene too. And every time that they went around, you hear like the boom from the audience. You hear the boom from like the audio.
You also had Rockstar in the house, and you had the voice actor for Miles Morales on the new Spider-Man game.
Yeah, and the actor from Franklin on GTA 5. Like that shit was crazy. Yeah. And like they just like and it's crazy because like DreamCon, like There's so many fucking people there, bro. I mean, even walking
over
like,
23,000 people.
Yeah, bro. Like when we went to the gallery, like we had to chase him down because like every time he walked off, we got fucking lost.
It was so hard to stay together. Like 6, 7 people, like staying together in the exhibit hall was really difficult. Like just walking around.
And it's always a burden trying to chase you, bro. Like, bro, fucking slow down. Like, and Pierre just walk even faster. I'm like, bro, fuck. And then you gotta go back and find Kenny and them and Charles and them. Like, so I'm in the middle trying to hold Pierre to stop. And then go back and tell Kenny he keeps walking. We look up, Pierre's gone. So we lost for like 10, 15. Like, fuck, man.
Yeah, I spent my time trying to look for y'all. So I know I walked away, but then I was the one looking for y'all. And I was like, where are they? And then I finally ran into some people.
Hey, I know you had that Osmo with you. You was getting some footage.
Getting some footage.
Look, you turned around. You were like, where they at though?
I was trying to capture everything because look, we're running with like a very bare minimum staff. Like like we we're kind of running skeleton. Like we kind of had one person for everything, and sometimes kind of a little bit people have like some shared responsibility, but. I was just trying to like be a part of everything because I had to with organizing this whole thing and still like having this vision on how we had to do the closeout and everything. It was just a lot. DreamCon in general, Saturday sold out. Apparently, Sexy Red was there. I didn't get to see her, but there is evidence where Mark and Kai Cenat went and took a photo with her. Crazy. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't know if did y'all run into any other celebrities and stuff like that? There's a lot that I brushed shoulders with, and I just don't know who they are. But these guys have like millions of followers.
While we were in the exhibit, we walked straight past, and I didn't even notice because I remember you saying, "Oh wow, that person's tall," and it was Dante and Rico the Giant from YouTube.
Oh wow,
I had to look it up and.
I'm like, I didn't know who they were, but it was obviously they had people following with cameras.
Yeah, I remember when y'all saying that. I didn't know who Dante was, but I remember like y'all, and he even had security around him. He's like, I need to back the fuck up. Like, what's going on? Like, damn, like, this guy.
Hey, calm down.
Yeah, for real. Calm down. Like we walking around the car, I don't even know who you are. Like,
we were lost.
Yeah, for real. One thing I wish about about DreamCon is that some of the RSVP events were a little bit more accessible to people because this is the second year in a row where I couldn't go and see the celebrity basketball or I couldn't see the dodgeball tournament and stuff like that. I was barely able to see Family Feud, but other than that, that's pretty much it. This year I didn't really go to any of the RSVP events, and I bought all my tournament stuff. I bought 3 tournament tickets. I went one for Smash, one for Mario Kart, and another one for Naruto, and I didn't get to go to any of them because I had to run this whole entire event.
Yeah, the tournament deal. I think I'm glad that they have them. There's some things they could do better there, but with Matthew going into the Mario Kart tournament.
Yeah, Mario Kart, and he did Smash.
And he did Smash. So got pretty far in the Smash tourney, but then in the Mario Kart tournament, missed the time or somebody got the wrong information.
Yeah, they fucked my boy over. What's up with that bullshit?
Yeah, they told him to come back at he did his match at 2, and then they told him to come back at 4:30 for his next match, and it was actually supposed to be 2:30. Yeah. And then he came back, and he was the top of his bracket too.
He would have cleaned up.
He would have won, bro.
Yeah,
we know it.
Yeah,
but overall, the gaming hall was incredible.
Was big. I saw Nintendo there. Did that surprise anyone? I saw Nintendo over at DreamCon this year. I don't think I saw them last year.
Like actual Nintendo staff?
No, actual
like
Nintendo.
people from the actual company.
Yeah.
Yes. They were I don't know if they were suing people, but they came out with something that said, "Hey, you need to run Smash tourneys with our approval and all this."
Oh yeah, the Smash approval policy. So basically, Nintendo came out with a notice: any game on that approved list, if you run a tournament that has a setting of like, let's say, a couple $1,000s or more for a tournament, you have to be like a registered TO, which is a tournament organizer, through their approval list, and then they have to give you a letter of consent saying that you're able to run this under their approval. And if you get caught, they'll hit you with a class action suit
or
you.
DMCA or something.
Yeah, so like
that's
that's crazy. So like if we wanted to run a Smash tournament here, actually in the house, and they found out that we were profiting from it by any means necessary, we'd be hit with a suit. Which is
I guess they had that relationship with Nintendo.
And you know, I love Nintendo, but you guys got to do better. That's some bullshit. Like for real. Like
so any other closeout comments about DreamCon?
I enjoyed it, but I definitely went this last
outside
day
of,
just for the games. Bro.
Like just this on another note, but damn, hey man, there's some baddies there, bro.
Talking about
fucking right, boy.
Well, all right, so did y'all talk to any of the people that you had certain love interests in?
Love interest. I
know this guy.
I mean, I didn't talk to him, but I definitely saw some ass. There was ass left and right.
Yeah.
There was juice everywhere in that motherfucker. I don't know. Hey, so look, because Osagie tried to play me, bro, right before we were leaving.
I didn't try to play you.
Yeah, so
no, I didn't.
I was like, do I want a picture? I want a fucking picture.
I was riding a high of walking around talking to people, and you're like, oh.
I said she was cute. She was bad.
And I was like, let's do it.
Y'all went
let's go.
Y'all wasn't going to take a picture. He wasn't going to take a picture. And then he asked me, like, hey, he wasn't. Nigga, I don't want to fucking do that shit.
I'm sorry.
I'm not trying to take a picture.
I thought you wanted to hop in there, too.
Sound like you did.
I mean, well, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I want to talk to her, I would went somewhere else and talked to her, got a number. And,
Got her up.
Like, the restroom was right there. We could have did something.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Look,
Hey, you wrong for that.
but I ain't know.
Hey, but she was mad cute though. I don't know. She probably see this podcast like you were cute. You know what I mean? But I'm a single man. I'm not tied down to anyone. So you know, I'm acting fucking fool till a woman humbles me. You know what I'm saying?
Right, so basically, just come through.
Yeah,
come through.
So if you're very strong, big, and muscular man,
yeah, I don't want none of that shit. I don't want none of that shit.
Hey, humble him.
Fuck no.
Hey,
look. I will say that people found any excuse to wear, to be out.
to be out. Yeah,
man.
that's true.
Oh, like you talking about?
No, just to have their cheeks out.
Oh
have,
bro, there was plenty of ass hanging.
Well,
everywhere.
the thing is with DreamCon, like sometimes you kind of wonder, like, what were some people going for, and sometimes people will look like they were exclusively just saying, look, I get to wear anything I want today, and sometimes you see that.
Oh, for sure, that's definitely.
But I really do love the cosplaying, and especially from a black perspective, where you see so many like black people like in this cosplaying realm and like into anime, manga, gaming, and you can literally walk up to technically anyone and just strike a conversation about whatever it is, and they know it.
They're so comforting.
Yeah, it felt comforting to walk in there and see a bunch of black people. Yeah, the same things we were into.
I think that's one thing that like Darius was telling us, but he was telling me because I was like. When this is my first time being at a convention, let alone a pro-black convention, he was like saying, I was like, why is there so many more black people here than anything I say? And it's weird because, back in the day when we went to high school or whatever, black people used to flame you for being in the anime and being an anime nerd and shit. And it's like everybody here is like, just like you said, comfortable with that shit.
Yeah,
so it's like they really took a market that where most people or most conventions, there's usually like nerdy white people or just nerdy people in general. And now they got the entire black community.
They created a space.
Yeah, like owning and claiming this shit too.
Well, the interesting thing is that Mark Phillips took the black what's the guy from Avengers?
Falcon?
Oh, yeah.
Doctor Strange. So he took the black Doctor Strange with a do-rag, and this dude, turned his do-rag into the cape.
Yeah.
And, I'm over there just watching them talk on the stage, and, one of the panelists on the stage was talking about this guy with a do-rag, and she was just saying, yeah, I noticed, and then you just started hearing a lot of noise from one corner of the entire convention room. And then, Mark invites him on stage, and then this guy walks up there and he's like, man, like, I haven't been to the States in like 10 years. And one thing I can say about this convention, it's, the experience is second to none. Also, you guys are so friendly. Like, it's just feel like you guys are so inviting and you're so friendly. And I thought that was pretty dope to hear from, someone who's
to get that
coming
from
to this
completely another country. Coming over here and feeling very welcome to this.
Yeah. So, dope. Shout out. This is a dope event. We really did enjoy that con. And on to the next conversation. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, Nike has came up with some new breaking shoes, and they tailored it more for breakers and people who are, doing more in the realm of street dancing and whatnot. And they did a lot of research and took a lot of notes and kind of like catered a lot of this design to work functionally with, breakers and stuff like that. So the sole's a lot smaller than, what you would typically see from like a Air Max 95 or like any other traditional Nike shoes. But we actually have two of them here in the studio, and I'd like to show you. Got the first one.
Okay.
Any thoughts to you guys? I actually love the form factor of this one. I think the way that this shoe is just kind of framed and packed, this is really dope. Nike, I really love what you guys did with this design. And I think it does work. It does hurt your feet a little bit when you spend all day walking on these, because they do have that little bit of a flat foot feeling to it. But overall, this is my first day actually wearing these, and these were really cool to wear. Any ideas from you guys?
All right, so I'll tap right in. I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't the biggest fan of these shoes. I'm still not the biggest fan, mainly because like the design is actually nice. But when I first saw these shoes, the way that they were marketed, first of all, whoever like was doing the marketing campaign for these shoes and like taking the pictures, maybe it's just been a degradation of the quality that we saw in the photos, but the quality of the photos were fucking terrible. Like it was so. I remember when I
don't know. I think I disagree.
No,
because I'm actually
when I saw the photo, the first set I saw a photo, it was a leak, and of course, like no one has control over the leak, but I still believe.
Was it a leak?
Yeah, I remember they showed like it wasn't. Maybe if it wasn't a leak, whatever. But I remember they were showing the first like pictures of these shoes. It was so blurry that I couldn't actually see the quality of the shoes.
You can't really control that.
I mean, you can't control it. But then, like, when I actually saw it, I was like, I'm still not on board with it. Like, I like the design, but there were only, like, 3 different color schemes. There was the brown ones, the black ones that he hasn't picked up yet, and then there were some blue ones, And I'm like, somebody that designed these shoes loves the color brown, because even on the blue ones, I think there was a touch of brown on them. And I'm like, can we get some solid colors?
I'm a big fan of this brown, this black and brown, like this gumdrop type of look to it. This is really cool.
Like I like the black version. To me is the best color version. If these are the only 2 color schemes or color
for now at least,
I like the black one, but I still don't like the fucking brown. Like here, you can hold this real quick. Can we please get? If you're gonna go with this black is fine. Can we get all black in this? Because I love Nike, you know what I mean.
But this is just the first. This is
black Air Force. You trying to have some black
but the
Air
thing is, like, okay, but the thing is,
start stealing and whatnot.
But the thing is, this is the first wave of shoes. Why
do-rag and all black shoes?
Like, what is up? Is there a fucking symbol for brown in breaking? I'm not understanding why.
Well, but this is what I would say. So
I think it's 'cause it's really approachable.
Well, with some of the Vans and stuff like that you've seen in the past, they have the all black top with the gumdrop bottoms, and like these kind of have that same feeling. And they fit like Vans / any other flat-footed shoe, but the style still stays neutral and clear to Nike, to like something that they would create. I thought this was really creative for Nike to do, and it's really light. So I'd like to see what these shoes would feel like after breaking them in a little bit, but. Like overall, I'm a fan of these shoes. I like how they look.
Yeah, and I will touch on that. Like I do like the idea that Nike is approaching the breaking market and making the shoe established for breaking. But just another note, I'm not an ambassador or anything, but can we please get rid of the fucking brown?
No, don't listen to him.
Like give me like if you're gonna,
I like the brown.
All right, you're gonna keep the brown.
Take it off of his shoe.
You're gonna keep the brown. You're gonna keep the black and brown. Can you give us 2 solid colors?
We just need a Nike ID for this thing, man.
No,
we need Nike ID.
All black and all white, and I'll rip my fucking wallets about the shoes.
Oh my god!
But I'm like the brown, bro. Fuck the brown. What is brown?
Osagie, Charles, can y'all chime in?
Like, please. All right. So look, initially, I honestly didn't like the shoe. I still have my reservations on the shoe, but like in person, it looks a lot better, and it seems to go with certain fits that I didn't realize it would be like match up like that.
Yeah.
Way. So to be honest, I I still kind of am on the fence about even considering buying the shoe, but being that it's like significant, I mean, it makes me think about it harder. But I don't know. I'm like hit or miss on the purchasing of the shoe. But as it is, like they look dope when you wore it the other day. So I'm like, okay, they might have changed my mind. But just off of the pictures, I was like, this.
Yeah,
what they got.
They definitely look better in person. I will sign off on that because the pictures didn't do them justice.
I love how they look, man. Those shoes are so dope. Osagie?
I think it's gonna be a durable shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that it's on the market too. Like it likened to like Vans and how skateboarding shoes are like widespread and so available. I think that's gonna happen with these shoes.
Yeah.
Like people are gonna start enjoying wearing them and enjoying using them.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see people using them, and then what other colors are going to be coming out. But I think it's going to be really
that too.
Yeah.
But
that's going to be
so my thing is I'm a dancer that loves to wear flat-footed shoes. So this just felt like it was like bridging, the two worlds for me. You still get the tight looking style. You get the nice looking style that Nike always like pretty much, creates. And I'm not sponsored by Nike, but if y'all trying, give me a holler. But I would say that I love the style of this because I've had these like old Dunks, like the first one, like they were like really flat, and those are like one of my favorite shoes. Like they felt the most athletic. I could do everything in them. And then ever since like those shoes went away, I then got into Adidas, and I got into the Canvas Gazelles, and those became my favorite shoes. Like as just like my lucky shoes in a way. And now this feels like it could potentially make this whole circle back to becoming a lucky shoe once I start using a lot more. But like I said, it does kind of like you feel it on your feet if you spend the whole entire day just walking on these. You are closer to the ground, soles are thinner. But it's perfect for being used in that athletic setting for battles, breaking, and everything.
Let me ask you this thing, because we've gone through like years where we'll buy a shoe and we'll know immediately like, okay, this is going to be a decent shoe for breaking. It's going to make me have the closest feel to the ground. It's going to be solid and stable on my feet. And then other shoes just not really that good for that. Either they have too wide of a toe box, they're not really giving you the support you need, or too cushiony, or have too large of a sole, type of thing. Like when you put these on, did you immediately feel like, oh yeah, I can?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. My thing is, we used to dance in Air Maxes a lot, and when you move your feet, it's like anything in the way, like the Air Maxes grab onto them like instantly because they feel so bulky. Like I got these like pillows on the side of my shoes. Like that's what it feels like, because anytime you sweep across the floor, you need to move fast when you're breaking. And when your feet's gliding right above the floor, like Air Max will grip onto it and tear up your feet. But with these, I definitely feel like I did some power in them yesterday, and it was dope. Like, I mean, they feel light. I like how it feels. I'd like to see like what it feels like moving forward. And I might even have to buy me some more pairs just so I can just be like, all right, I always want them to look fresh. But
might make you spend some more money on each pair.
Look, I already told y'all I might be buying like 5 of these just so I can just have them.
I don't know, man.
I don't know why you would do that.
I already said it. I need like at least 2, because look, imagine this. We lose this one in 2 years, right? Okay. Let's say this one no longer goes on sale next year. Okay. How will I get these shoes? I have some Adidas Gazelles back from 2012 that's been out of like production, and I'm just like, dang, I wish I would have bought more of these shoes. Now, case in point, now we got more shoes, and I'm gonna buy some more.
Aren't they only available in women's size too right now, right?
Yeah, but there's a sizing chart that you can accommodate for men.
Yeah, so
Sorry, why are you smiling?
Yeah,
I'm just smiling.
Yeah, no, you can't smile.
What kind of shoes that we have here on the table?
Yeah, so let me tap in right now. So I'm sure that Nike will address this if they ever see this, but I already addressed the colorway issue. That's fine. Even if you guys leave this colorway, that's fine.
What do you like about the shoe?
I mean, I told you I like the design. I actually like the design.
You just want different colors.
Yeah, like the color.
You want all black.
I don't give a fuck about brown. Like, you know what I mean? There's plenty of black and brown on my skin. Like, give me all white, all black, solid colors. Like,
but there's plenty of black on your skin too.
Yeah,
darkest one here.
Yeah, I am the darkest one. The sexiest, flexiest nigga too. So anyway, aside from that, like, please try to make a size in like 14 or higher, because a nigga really need that. That's what I have. And you know what they say about big shoes, big socks, and other things too. But you know, we're not gonna get into all that.
It's all right. So for you guys, does this make you like Nike more, or does it make you just, you know, still feel the same about them? Do you still have a neutral feeling about Nike? Do you think they listen to their audience
them more? Yeah, definitely like them more for that.
I'm interested in the fact that larger companies are taking an interest in our art and our breaking art and our sport. And I think it's just a reason to look into them a little bit more and just to appreciate the opportunities that are coming from the companies that are recognizing, you know, this art form. That's it.
Okay. Thomas, does it make you hate, or you still feel neutral, or do you like Nike more because they kind of cater to the breakers to make this?
No, I mean, I think it's dope, you know, because like we already know how underground breaking is, and it just made a big, I guess, boom with the whole movement of, you know, being in the Olympics when we get to talking about that. So I actually think that's probably one of the indicators of, or influences, if you will, of why they came out with these breaking shoes, because it's a marketing opportunity. Like, one of the biggest athletic events is happening every 4 years, and they dropped the shoe right around the time. I'm almost sure it went hand in hand and knew that this is the time to drop something, because
breakers are so marketable.
Yeah.
Like, when it comes to fashion, breakers are so marketable. Like, I mean, we could rock anything. Right. Like, and you know, it's like fashion is part of hip hop, and like breaking, you kind of have to have like this fashion statement about you when you're dancing. You know, people used to wear the, you know, bottoms and the top windbreakers and stuff like that, all the matching body gear and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, it's always been to try and stay fresh and to try and look good, to feel good. But yeah, with that comes like a lot of marketing opportunity, I feel, for dancers.
I mean, the tracksuit era basically was like all
the tracksuit era is still ongoing right now.
I mean, well, who's a tracksuit god?
Menno, yeah. Menno came out with a tracksuit, but every time you go back and then let's say we have a Halloween or something like that, and someone tries to replicate what it means to be like someone who's a break dancer,
they're gonna pull out the shell toes and
and they pull out the tracksuit, and you know. But now I think this fashion thing is getting to another level, where people are gonna want to try and, you know, tap into other areas and like just into different dynamic fashion statements to like really, you know, like in modern day time, I feel like people's fashion statement is like, you know, they try and really reach and see what works. So I think this is going to be dope. I think this is just the opening door to everything. But Nike, great job on the shoe. Love it.
And we'll love it more when you make solid colors, white and all black.
I'm excited for you to get a men's pair.
That too. Yeah, like.
Wow.
That's women's size that you just saw. So
just like why is there so much hate? Like,
I don't hate women
from this side. Like from this
quick
side, I'm getting a lot of hate, especially from this side of the room.
Here's the real question. Like, I love women, but why do they get every fucking thing? Why are there only women's sized shoes?
That's beside the point.
No, it's not beside the point, because when it comes to the shoe market, if you go in any fucking shoe store,
no, I want to know why we're getting so much hate. Like, I feel so much hate.
They're not guy-sized shoes.
That's true.
I
don't want to do the math.
Tell me right now, if I go in the app right now,
I want to throw these shoes at Osagie.
I want to throw these shoes back in a fucking shoe box.
I want to get a men's pair, put them on, feel the magic.
And I'm sure.
So what do you think is going to be different with a men's pair opposed to?
They're going to fit.
You know, these women.
They're going to fit.
These fit.
And outside of it fitting, niggas will know my shit is size 15 for a fucking reason.
Yeah.
So
just to let y'all know, Thomas is like 2 inches taller than anyone else in here. Actually, not than anyone else. I think.
Look,
Charles is probably taller than Thomas.
But look, I need a men's pair too because I got a size 12. I can't be.
Well, I mean, I got size 15, so you know.
And that don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. All this big body just mean big body and big shoes.
Well,
but
all right, I'll tell you right now. Go look at what big feet mean.
everybody knows what big feet means.
Right.
It don't apply to everyone. Don't apply to everyone.
Hey, I did have a question about shoes though. Shoes and breaking. Like, I remember there was kind of a time.
I'm sorry. I just thought about something stupid, bro. Go ahead.
In the middle of the conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So I remember a time where like nobody was breaking any nice shoes. Right? They were breaking the shoes that were like scuffed up. They were practice shoes, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then I don't know where we saw people in Rad breaking in like Yeezys and breaking in Jordans and stuff like that. And everybody was noticing
Off-Whites.
Yeah, I'm just like, yo, y'all dancing in these shoes, and people were taking notice. And I'm wondering, do you think these shoes or any shoes that some of these people might come out with in terms of breaking shoes will kind of fit that awe factor of, oh, dang, you're dancing in these shoes?
I think that particular statement, it just made much more of a impression. Like it was one of those type of moves that, you know, had a high impression on, you know, the entire scene. Like these shoes are functionally supposed to be used for active wear, for dancing, for breaking, right? Mm-hmm. But for those are more like fashion statement type shoes and very expensive shoes too. And I dance at my Yeezys too, like in my my mauves and stuff like that. But yeah, I think with those shoes, I think people started seeing that and they kind of like saw the type of attention you can get from doing that. Mm-hmm. And now it might turn more into like a marketing type of thing where, you know, maybe we do have like some type of high-end seller who wants, you know, breakers to, you know, purposely scuff up their shoes or like use them in some type of particular field where people were like, oh, look, that's a marketing opportunity. But
broken in.
Yeah, definitely.
And they might even create a domino effect, you know, of the fact that Nike has these breaking shoes. So right before the Olympics, they drop them, right, which they did. And then all of a sudden, I'm sure they gave one pair out to at least somebody that's going to be in the breaking Olympics because that's what they were intended for. And if they showcase that shoe, fine, they're going to sell out these two colorways that they have, and they'll get the ball rolling. They'll get more colors or whatever. Now you got the biggest clothing company in America, probably even in the world, showcasing this new movement for the first Olympic new category with these shoes and what they're intended for. I guarantee you, after that shit happens, now you're going to have Adidas, Reeboks, whoever else, you know, the biggest shoe brands out there. They're going to start coming out with their own type of breaking shoe.
But I will say, I definitely only seen Rad do this first. Rad was the first one doing this, like where they wore the high-end shoes.
I straight up see.
I seen Jeffrey and Canaris
throw some J's on, some black J's. I was like, yo, he kept them clean.
But Jeffrey's always dancing the J's like before, like which is just funny. And then he started dancing the Off-Whites. Canaris started dancing his Off-Whites. I started dancing my Yeezys. People and you know, you just see the comments online. They're like, "You guys are what?"
Hey, bro, why is he still wearing these? Like,
but
he didn't switch his shoes?
Yeah, but the shoe game, killing it.
Man.
But speaking of killing, we have to talk about this. When it's coming up soon.
What is it?
So, the Trump assassination attempt.
The biggest upset.
Oh,
in America.
Was it though?
Was it
really?
No.
Even, all right, I'm turning out. I still think it was rigged.
You think someone set it up?
Bro, I mean, in a perfect world, bro, like you gotta really think. Like, okay, I understand everybody fucking hates Trump. I personally would vote for him versus anyone in the race for a few factors, and we'll get to that. But before we talk about that, I still think the assassination was fucking rigged or staged, whatever you want to call it. But it's the perfect story to get all the votes. Like,
I mean, he did coming up look like 50 Cent after that. It was like
it's like I'm the president.
Like Trump had real ops. He got real ops.
He like I'm the ex.
Joe Biden fighting with stairs and Trump fighting with people with bullets.
Like
some random white teen from who knows
I don't
where.
understand.
But that backstory doesn't
that doesn't make
well
sense.
the way that they've kind of like outlined everything with like the Secret Service and how there was that particular security breach, that vulnerability that they had. It doesn't really make sense how how his entire backstory is kind of being spun, and like how he even had access to climb up there with a ladder and then like take aim. And apparently the Secret Service had eyes on him for 3 hours leading up to the whole thing.
Yeah, that's also some bullshit too.
Yeah, but I don't think it was staged at all. There's no way you could stage someone actually shooting you in the ear. And actually I've seen some of the footage where they show one angle of Trump looking one way, and then when he turns, like his ear is the thing that is on the scope's bullseye. It's on the sighting. And I mean, if anyone's ever shot a gun, even from 150 yards away, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, it won't land straight there unless you sight it pretty well. But even so, there's going to be some deviation, and you're going to have to overcompensate by shooting higher in order to have it whenever the trajectory actually goes out. It's going to go down. It's due to forces of gravity. But to shoot someone in the ear, impossible to stage.
Okay,
well, the outcome obviously not like something that you can tailor down to the most minute thing. But I'm like, how could this person with this type of background even have that type of motivation to do what he did?
He's a great. I don't care what anyone say. Whoever shot that, if you did it from that angle, from that distance, had to be a great shot.
You're talking about the kid?
Yeah,
the one, the shooter.
From 150 yards, it makes no sense.
Let's analyze this bullshit. All right, so when we get into it, right? I saw the video you're talking about. I saw it on Twitter, and it shows a full perfect scope of Trump's head inside the scope of the,
he's in the sighting
of the crosshair. If you look at that video, even if Trump turns his head sideways or whatever, that is the most miraculous fucking miss anyone could have. Shooting with an AR-15 400 feet away. Like 400 feet is.
I think it was 400 feet.
It's not that far for a scope. Like it's not. And the fact that he turned his head like at maybe 30 to 50 degrees, and the bullet scrapes his ear. That like the reticle was so huge. Like it would have to be like he would have to do a head nod swing for it to actually do what he did. Even if he turned 90 degrees to the right, it would still hit him dead on in his head somewhere. But to scrape his ear. And because it wasn't one shot, right? Like it was several shots.
It was several shots.
Yeah. And like 2 people got critically injured. One person died. 2 people got critically injured, and his ear scrapes. Ain't no fucking way, bro. Like
what this makes me think of, because a lot of things just didn't line up in terms of the story, his backstory, and all this other stuff. I'm like, this got to be like some multiversal moment. Somebody tried to come back and change the timeline or something like that, and it failed because it's like what did they call it? Absolute point in time or something like that from Marvel. Yeah. I'm like, it just didn't seem like anything lined up. Like nobody has a real explanation for why he even wanted to do that, especially if he was a registered.
Well, I mean, I think they've kind of been framing this whole thing to happen from the start. Like from seeing the media narratives, everything like from people saying they're gonna chop Trump's head off and do all this stuff. All of the negative sentiments and all the angles that they've been coming at him negatively. You could tell that that's where it was leading people. I mean, if I constantly talk about killing you publicly, right, and I constantly say that you're Hitler, or if I constantly say something like this, some individual out there is going to think that they're going to become the hero to save the world, because they're like if we had gotten in the world, if we had gotten in the way of stopping Hitler from doing whatever he did, then this would have never happened. And that's exactly why people jumped in. They jump into these extremes, and they're like, oh, I can actually do this. I can actually save the world by killing this dude.
I can see that going through his head, like chasing infamy and being like.
But I see that for multiple individuals. Like I think humans are very impressionable, and especially some 18-year-old, you're saying like, yo, this guy is this guy is this guy is this. I think eventually you'll find someone who's going to be like, I'm gonna be the person to stop him because I'm hearing this bad man is bad and he's gonna do this, even though he hasn't done any of them. They said he was going to get back and forth about they said he was going to start World War III.
Just as much bad rhetoric on the other side, man. Like
I think he's a potty mouth, But I don't. All of the things that they said about him were false. Like the whole Russian collusion thing was a false. The whole thing about him starting World War III.
I guess
we're more closer
because World War III didn't start.
No. But it has started.
Assassination attempt, whether or not that was wrong, and whether or not that was supposed to be.
I'll tell you what, we'll start that shit.
Yep, it sure would, and it'll start civil war. If he actually got killed on that stage, we're going into civil war.
I'm glad it didn't.
We're going into civil war for sure. For sure, we're going into civil war.
It would have been.
Nobody wants
Charles,
that.
you can try and overtalk anyone about how how you feel about this whole thing about it, like how much it touches you and how you just think that he's a bad person. But
that's not even what I said, bro. I said from the
start. No, from the start. Like when I even started talking about the negative things, you can't lie. Yeah. There's been more negative. He's probably the most persecuted person media wise.
I agree with you, bro.
No, that's so. What other person have you seen persecuted in the eyes of the media more than him?
Look, Clinton.
Who?
Who?
Clinton? No.
Wait, which Clinton?
Probably not.
We're talking about Hillary Clinton?
No. Well,
Bill got top in the White House and nothing ever happened to him.
Yeah, that's true. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. But seriously though, there's a whole media machine on the other side that says the exact same thing and goes off on some other stuff that has no basis in reality. So I just don't think it's
like what? Wait. No basis on reality on what?
There's a lot of statements that are made that just tend to be false. Like OAN is just not a real news platform.
No one's talking about OAN.
That is the media platform of the right.
Wait, what are we? What's the subject? What are we talking about specifically?
We're just talking about rhetoric and who puts out rhetoric. News platforms.
Yeah, wait, but you're saying OAN is the biggest news platform for the right?
That is one of them, right? That is a large one.
I've never heard of that one.
Well, then you're not watching the news.
I typically stand to more independent media, but the thing is, I would say Fox. I would say more people tuned into Fox from a right person standpoint.
For a long time, but people even wanted more negative rhetoric, so they went to OAN, and people started dropping Fox because they were starting to lean up.
But more people have dropped CNN and MSNBC due to them actually having polarized news and media.
I don't like CNN either because they're doing half and half stuff.
No, they've done it most. In fact, CNN, you can statistically see that they've lost the most amount of viewership more than any other media source.
But all I'm saying is that I'm not picking a side that's saying is right. I'm just saying everybody has been doing a terrible job about just putting out information that is just information. Everybody's kind of going into, oh, this should be this and this should be that, and you should never even okay, what is beneficial for you as a voter, as a person living in the United States? Are you truly getting information that actually is going to benefit you? And
well, see, that's the thing. I think the problem with that is that people actually don't know what they're voting for. They're not educated. But the thing is, that also correlates to whatever news you're watching, because if you're just watching,
it's all feelings.
One network, but that's the thing. That's actually being uneducated, because if you're voting off of feelings, you're not voting for anything.
That's what I'm saying.
And I've actually stuck to both. Like I've actually watched one and I watched the other, and then I was like, I found myself initially watching more CNN, and then I was like, you know what? This just seems like it's too biased. There's too much feelings. They're trying to say, oh, this person is this. Make sure you vote. Make sure you do this. Then I started looking at the other extreme. I was like, what was the extreme to that? So I looked at something like Tucker Carlson on Fox. And then I was like looking at CNN, and I was looking at Tucker Carlson. And I was like, this on CNN looks way more biased in comparison to what I see here. Then I started expanding on that, and then I started looking more towards independent media. And then that eventually led me more towards a more neutral, center-based, source of media, source of news or whatnot. And I think the more independent you go, then the more, straightforward, clear cut that you get some of the news and stuff like that. Like I started listening to Redacted and stuff like that. So internet news and stuff like that. That's way more based and way more, I think it's straightforward when it comes to actually giving you current events in comparison to watching like a CNN or MSNBC.
Comparing stories that tends to give you more of what the information that actually ends up being right. If you have let's say two sources of information, then you'll probably hear them say similar things and a couple of different things. You'll be like, okay, maybe the similar things are correct. If you get the 10 sources, then same deal happens. So I kind of tend to just listen, and once I hear, okay, these are what people are saying about this particular situation, I try to make sense of, okay, why are they saying different things, or whatever the main narrative is. But I just hate that everything in our political system is based on feelings. Like, it seems like nobody's talking about actual outcomes of what people will enact or not enact. Everybody's talking about feelings.
I hear that more from CNN and MSNBC.
I don't care, man. I just hate that most people are voting based on feelings.
But that's also the problem with America. People are uneducated.
It's a popularity contest.
Yeah, I think America in general has just been going down in terms of education. Like, we're people are more okay with being told what to do and what's right, versus like critically thinking and actually saying, and voting, what's this?
And the popular vote 100% reflects that. People think that the popular vote is what matters, when that has not of shit to do with anything. Because let's say, for example, when Hillary Clinton and Trump are voting, or they're in the race, right? And let's say, for example, Hillary Clinton wins the popular vote. That shit doesn't matter. It all boils down to the Electoral College. But people don't understand, because you are voting for the Electoral College, you have to vote locally, which means you have to go and vote for your senators and Congress. And because people don't know shit about that, they think popular vote is she should have won, or Kamala Harris should have won, or President Trump should have won, because they won the popular vote. Then it's like, well, why do we have the Electoral College? And then when they win the Electoral College vote, all of a sudden this person wins the presidential candidacy.
So the vote happens way earlier than anybody realizes.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, like, you got all this bullshit happening. Trump saying that he's going through this, or he's being impeached, or Kamala Harris is now running, and Biden is like, these are all quick ass tactics to get the last minute attention before the race, whatever. And people still don't know what the fuck that they're voting for. Even like, you should not be voting because President Trump survived his assassination, or because Kamala Harris is going to be the first woman president, because Biden is going to be dropping out of the race. Like, those are the worst, even though I'm not going to tell you who I'm voting for. Either side, for those particular reasons, is the dumbest fucking reason to vote. You should be voting for, one, knowing how your demographics, which is in whatever region that you live in, whether it's the Midwest, West Coast, East Coast, how those are affected. Taxes.
But Thomas, I would say you did tell us who you're going to vote for.
I mean, well, all right. So you should know. I'm voting.
I mean, I second that thought, though.
Yeah. Like,
just because of, like, when we look at, in comparison to where we were 4 years ago to compared to now, I definitely had a better time. Like, I think just in general, life was at a better place than it was.
And here's the thing. I got into an argument with a family member literally last week, because she told me that voting for Kamala Harris should be an interesting way of approaching the next presidency because she's a woman. I said, first of all, that is not the reason of why you should vote for her. If you want to vote for her and everyone else, you have that right. It's definitely your natural born right as a citizen. I'm not opposing that. But I said it's a bad idea to vote for Kamala Harris because she is a woman. That is the dumbest reason.
We all know that everyone did that for
that's not a
Obama.
reason to you should be voting for it. Like
when Obama was running, I know for 100%. Like, I had voted for Obama only because he was black.
And it's like, if you go back and
he had the charisma and the sense to actually make us believe he was going to be.
Yeah, but even that is wrong.
Yeah, even that is still wrong. Like, even though I'm not saying like it's because like if I had to go back and say I voted for Barack Obama was because he's black, I'm voting for all the wrong reasons. So now you have all these policies, right? You had Obamacare and whatever else he implemented into policy, and I don't know anything about Obama's plan. I'm just saying all this for example. If you didn't know or you hated whatever he had to do, because a lot of people are throwing shade at Obama during his presidency, and even still now when he has nothing to do with whatever's going on for the actual presidential race, to my knowledge. And if you had any problem with whatever he's doing, well, why the fuck did you vote for him? Because every black person was voting for him.
Yeah, everybody's president was black and their Lambo was blue.
Yeah.
Like
I'm not gonna say everybody was, but majority of the reason I heard Obama was being voted for because we're gonna have our first black president, and that's still a terrible reason to go vote for someone. I understand what policies they're trying to implement, what issues they're trying to address, and as far as I'm concerned, Trump was the in my my opinion, was the preference to vote for it. And I don't give a fuck with anyone. They can come at me because here's the thing. Trump is saying some crazy and wild shit on Twitter and at these addresses. Like, I'm not going to knock that. He talks like how he wants. But one thing that Trump knows is business and money and the economy. When he was in office, taxes were fucking lower, which everybody complains about.
Yeah.
Not paying taxes, but I can't get shaken through the fact of the feeling he talks to anybody like how he wants. Get rid of that fucking mentality.
I just think that he was probably one of the most true like he's not a politician, but he was a politician that actually, catered to what his voting base was, asking of him. They asked for lower taxes. Mm-hmm. They asked for border security,
more jobs.
They asked for more jobs. They asked for more money,
and he delivered on
he
all
actually,
that.
He actually stuck more to that than I would say what Biden has done. Even more than what Obama has done, and everyone unanimously has done that much better than Bush.
So you're saying the people felt the effect of his presidency more than?
No, I'm saying he actually did do those things, and they felt the effects of them. Yeah. Like the fact that that taxes did go lower, and even now some of those policies are still in place. I 100% think that those were some of the things that made it work out.
A point is, everyone's also talking about violence in politics. Like, politics is no place for violence. Don't you think that Trump is in part responsible for the uptick in that?
No, violence occurs in any sense.
I know, but I feel like with the storming and all that stuff, that he kind of incites that with words.
All right, so my opinion on that whole thing would be it was more of the media than it was Trump.
Okay, but what about the time that he literally said, "I will pay for your legal fees if you attack this person"?
I never heard that, and you had to show me the footage.
I will.
Yeah, you're gonna have to show me the footage. But the thing,
even if you propose that, he's not forcing you to commit violence. If someone tells you
he's never publicly encouraged or forced anyone to actually incite any type of physical violence on some other person.
But here's the thing, though: if I encourage you to go kill your boss and I'll drop you $50,000, are you gonna go? Whose fault is it though? If you go do that,
when we're talking about hundreds of millions of people, right? You bear influence, and you can't say that an influence doesn't have an effect. So if you have an effect on people,
the effect only happens if the said person actually goes through with it.
Yeah, and that's sure that person will be held legally responsible, but you're going to have an effect on people.
But why would he be the first target if that person's held accountable first?
If he is the first point of where that information came from.
No, but that doesn't make any sense.
Where that feeling came from, or where that inspiration came from.
But that's never the truth.
But the problem it comes from the lack of accountability for that said person.
So is influence not consequential?
Not more than the person that actually committed.
No, but is it not consequential?
Consequential than the person that actually committed.
For sure, and that person is going to be actually held responsible.
The person who did it is a bitch.
But you're telling me that influence is not consequential at all, such that a person shouldn't even be looked at as even partially responsible.
I said not more. If it is consequential,
so partially responsible.
I would say if that person gets consequent, then the person that committed should be held fully accountable before.
For sure, but the influence is there.
All right, wait. Do you agree with free speech? First of all,
freedom of speech, but there is the clauses to freedom of speech, right? You cannot incite a riot.
Right, but no. But what you just discussed is not even inciting a riot. Like you said,
inciting violence.
Well, no, you said he told someone to go do something, which has not even been proven.
And I'm not even talking about he should legally.
But the thing about inciting the riot,
I'm not talking about him going to jail.
No. But I'm not even talking about that either. But I'm just saying, in terms of you saying that someone incites a riot, what is deemed inciting a riot? In terms of what he said in that speech, if you've seen the entire thing,
I'm saying that is a consequence that they can actually take you to jail for in the law. But what I'm saying we should do is hold people like freedom of speech is not freedom of consequences, number one. So let's get that out of the way. Number two, if somebody says something bad, we still have the responsibility to give our opinion of what they said.
So like I said before, like I said before, what did he say that is deemable as an incite of riot?
Hey, you can hit that person. I'll take care of your legal fees. That is a problem. That's not
once again. no one knows where that came from because no one's
you
ever
don't
said
know where that came from.
Please prove it. Please prove it. Please prove it because the biggest
you don't
thing,
know where that came from.
No. Please prove it because the biggest thing that people are saying that Trump incited was the January 6th riot, right?
That's
what you're talking about, right?
That's what
what he's saying is that he said that Trump said punch someone and I'm gonna pay you the legal fee.
That was
with
before,
no other context.
That was way before. No,
with no other context.
That was.
I think it was like somebody was
attacking somebody at his rally, and he just basically encouraged it. Something was happening already, and he just encouraged it to continue happening.
So you
Something
think he should be
wait. So
punished for that?
Wait. So you think you can't have self-defense?
That has nothing to do with.
Well, no. You just said that someone was actually inflicting something on someone else, and he said if someone is doing this to you, you should have the right to punch them in the face.
No, not punch them back. Continue to punch the person you are already attacking.
Continue, but that makes no sense. What's the context?
So
what's the example?
What's the context?
Somebody that was a Trump supporter was attacking somebody who wasn't a Trump supporter at a Trump rally.
Mm-hmm. And why?
And off of the fact that somebody was trying to say, hey, Trump, you're not good at a Trump rally, right? And that person attacked somebody that wasn't a Trump supporter at that rally. And Trump was like, hey, I'll pay your legal fees, the Trump supporter. So if you're paying for the person that does the attacking, are you not encouraging more attacking?
Was that person held against their will? Was there an immediate threat of danger that made that person commit that? Then he's fully, the person that committed the act is fully responsible.
For sure. But you're encouraging.
Yeah, but that's not illegal.
And that's not inciting a riot. That's not inciting a riot.
I never said it was illegal. I never said
but that never incited a riot.
I never said he would go to jail. I never even said that. My point
exactly
is
my
wrong.
point. It doesn't even matter.
Okay, just because something you can go to jail doesn't mean something isn't wrong. Like you can say something is wrong and not have legal consequences.
Oh, morally, I agree with you. Morally is wrong.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm saying,
so why can't we hold somebody to a moral responsibility?
Because it has nothing to do with being illegal. If someone commits something because we're talking about crime, which is in the.
Why are we talking about the same thing?
We're not talking about the same thing. We went from talking about crime to being immoral. That's two different things. I could completely.
We're talking about voting decisions and whether or not there is influence about being violent.
Well, because violence came from his question. He said about committing violence.
He said committing a riot.
We were saying responsibility of influence.
Yeah, he was talking. He was saying inciting a riot,
which is actually illegal, and that's not about being immoral. That's like you can actually go to jail for that. But being immoral, I could be like, I'll fuck every girl on the planet and not give a fuck about their feelings. That's immoral as fuck, but it's not illegal. I could cheat on my wife. That's not illegal.
Yeah, but
in some context, but to Thomas' point, that's true.
Yeah, but I'm saying having an influence on violence, we should really be looking at that and saying.
But that goes down to the T of, are we talking about morality or we're talking about something being illegal?
Are we going to stand up to bullying? Like, are we going to stand in school?
Do you got money to stand up against fucking Trump? This is a billionaire we're talking about.
Okay, then that's a different question. Like, should it be a money question?
Yes, we're talking about a literal.
It'll ever be a money question.
It's always going to be a money question.
Well, it's not a money aside.
But standing up to a bully is always your own moral upbringing
for sure.
That's up to your.
But that also comes with the idea of political power, or in this case, power. Because standing up to anyone will require some type of physical force or some kind of planning to be able to take this person down. If you're bullied by someone, obviously you either have to stand up to them because they're either intimidating you based on physical force that they present, or the fact that they're just bullying you because you don't want to have to deal with this person. They just want to do it for sheer will. We're talking about Trump here in this specific. That's not a regular ass fucking bully. He's a billionaire with Secret Service following him. This is not no regular ass bully. So they're obviously outside of just approaching him or trying to say that something that he's doing is immoral, it's not going to affect his day-to-day will. So what is the plan that you propose for holding him accountable, have any essential power?
I think what you say really pushes the borderline between freedom of speech and actually running more of a dictatorship.
Not even.
Well, the thing about the context of what you said.
No. Voting is a decision about who you want.
No one said anything about voting.
We were
no, because you talked about violence, right?
Hey, let me finish my point.
No. But the point that I just told you just now, we're just talking about whether or not if you incite violence on someone else, that's that should
we
be
started this
deemable as
conversation with influence. We started this question with
no
influence.
to the conversation that you and I and Thomas were just having was definitely about violence, enacting violence on someone else, right?
We brought up.
We were talking about. We were talking about violence.
Your question was what?
Well, we're not talking about violence.
No, but your question was what?
I almost don't
influence on violence. Influence.
No, his thing was no. It was not violence. It was inciting an insurrection.
There's an uptick in political violence, right? We're talking about how it's always been there.
And then you said the uptick happened because of some of the examples that you brought up, which were the inciting of the insurrection, correct?
Influence,
right? The influencing it. I think my personal thing of the question was, him in office, there has been an uptick. Him being public has been an uptick in that, right?
And as soon as I said something about the media, Charles then disagreed.
And?
Do you think media doesn't have a influence on that?
I do think they make it worse.
So how are you going to say that he incites violence when the media actually targets him as the number one person that they want to demonize?
Well, hold up. So you're talking about one side of the media too.
I'm not just talking about one side. No, I'm talking about media in general. I'm talking about it's not only one media.
One side.
It's not just one media though.
Yeah, but there's companies obviously that represent their candidate, and there's companies that represent a different candidate or represent a different side of the politics.
But it's
so
not
what I'm saying
countries.
is,
it's not just countries. Is what I'm saying. Like it's individuals. It's companies. All of them have collaboratively demonized one person. Is what I'm saying. And they've made them look like the face of evil to everyone, to the point where So anytime you see them,
Fox
you want to
and OAM have demonized them.
I wouldn't say Fox demonized them, but
so there's different places that haven't done it.
Like my thing is, Fox had, like, let's say they'll report on something that someone else has said, and someone else who said something will then later on pick up steam and regurgitate from media to media outlets to the point where people are just saying this is who he is, and like because of like all of the different corners of media, like where you're picking up your news, you're hearing the same thing everywhere else. It's kind of like a form of mind control. So
we want to assess fault to the people who don't think good of him, right? But we don't want to assess fault to Trump for encouraging continued violence on people that they petitionally wanted to.
Well, once again, you've never proven that. And
it's only one thing
you
that
don't know about it. That's fine.
No, you don't. That's why you keep saying it and not proving it. But he's actually pointing towards inciting an insurrection.
I would say specifically to either.
He actually brought up the point of the insurrection
thing. If you
thing.
don't know about it, it's fine.
No, it's okay if you don't know. But I've been asking you
specifically to either prove or disprove your point or to prove this point. It's only one correlating factor that will disprove either or support one. You got this. It's either evidence. You have to have evidence, because if I could say, for example, right, like say I was going to use a perfect example, Andrew Tate. Almost every fucking woman hates when Andrew Tate speaks, but this
or
trial,
Kevin Samuels.
Yeah, but we can speak because Andrew Tate's still alive, and there's still a actual active trial or some type of investigation going on with Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate has had this shit going on for almost 2+ years, right? Not one specific piece of evidence has ever came to light, and even the two girls that accused him at the beginning of the whole investigation have recused their statement and said that they were lying. Not only have they not been held accountable, but because of that idea and notion, the fact that he was some kind of sexual trafficker or some kind of rapist, every other woman now, because of that situation, deems him as some kind of sexual trafficker or some kind of sexist person, and he needs to be shut up and put in prison. And it's a perfect example of speculation that draws more power.
For sure. I think
because it's been bounced from media to media. Because it's been bounced from media to media.
I think it was hard done by for sure. Like that wasn't that. Like I feel like that.
But that's the same. It could be the same things for anyone, not just him or Trump. Anyone. News is always going to spin shit around because it drives either viewership or any type of action to get them more money to be able to.
Yeah.
Well, some of those things are opinion based on like half facts, but like when you take somebody's actual words, like recorded words, then like how else can you interpret it from when it's coming from their mouth? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're actually saying something and you take that at face value, like what do you think of it? Versus when somebody takes those things and then has their own news story about it and then has what they think and then you get it.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's where we end up having a problem where people are doing all this extra work or having these extra influences on you as a listener to that news platform and saying, okay, this is how you should think about what this person said. Mm-hmm. And that, I think, is like, they should really just be giving the information. But
this is exactly why I tell you, like, what you're saying is more dangerous than what Osagie's saying. Mm-hmm. Like, actually inciting inciting an insurrection or a riot is much different than telling someone else, hey, you could punch that person in the face. Like, that's different.
What are the consequences that you think?
Here are the consequences. One is self-respect for yourself and standing up for yourself.
How's it dangerous?
No, that's my point exactly. How is that dangerous? If I tell you to go punch someone else in the face who's been in your face and trying to, mock you or whatever.
Anybody was in the face.
No. That's my whole point. My thing is, like, saying that you're inciting an insurrection against a government is completely different than you're saying, oh, you incited a violence towards one other individual. Like, that's completely different. Your parents had probably done that to you. So are you going to prosecute your parents and throw them in jail?
That is whatever question that was. That made no sense.
Well, here's the thing: have your parents ever told you to enact violence on someone else?
No.
So your parents never ever told you, like, hey, someone pushed you or they punched you?
Self-defense is written in the law.
Your parents, no. But is that not enacting violence on someone else?
Self-defense is written in the law.
Is that no? But is that not enacting violence on someone else?
No, the person enacted violence on you already, and you're defending yourself at that point. But I'm saying there's a difference between defending yourself and starting violence with somebody else. Can you acknowledge that?
Well, wait, you're still not even acknowledging what I said.
No. Can you start something with somebody else? That's enacting violence. Defending yourself is not enacting violence. No.
That's still not even acknowledging what I told you.
You're talking about self-defense being enacting violence. I disagree with that.
No, I'm not. My thing is, if your parents has ever told you, hey, whenever you see that person, you go hit him. And they'll even tell you like this: if someone ever hits you, or if someone
is defense.
If your parents they'll specifically tell you something like this. They'll say, if someone even bothers you, if someone hits you, bothers you, if they do anything that's unfair to you, you have the right to hit them.
Putting words in my parents' mouth, but
I'm just saying in general, this is what most parents are going to tell their kids. Most parents are going to tell their kids. Osagie, your parents have told you that, right?
My parents have definitely told me that.
And my parents have told me to, like, look, if someone ever just does anything, like, it's not in the world of self-defense. It's just like, look, we don't tolerate
You're not
this.
Just gonna walk up somebody and knock them out.
My parents never just told you just go walk up and knock someone out.
But that's what I'm talking about.
No, but
so why was that even brought up as a point?
Because your point, you've never even, like, brought the context in terms of, like, what it is.
You just misunderstood the context.
No, because you've never brought it up. Like I said, you can't just say that doing any type of act of violence on someone else is deemable worth prison time. It's not.
What? Dude, assault and battery are a thing. You can go to court for that. You can go to jail for that.
Yeah, assault and battery. But not,
like
but
hitting somebody, that is assault and battery.
But you just said in generality, saying you can commit act of violence on someone else. Like if I strike someone else, in that sense, then that's an act of violence.
What are you saying? I said I did.
You're saying that if I have the right to, like, have an act of violence on someone else.
When did I ever say that?
You said that earlier.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no.
You said Trump said.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Look. This is what you said. You said Trump said you can enact an act of violence on someone else. Just saying that statement alone doesn't stand on its own. It doesn't. Unless it's self-defense, which is what I told you.
No. He encouraged people to be able to do that and have their legal fees paid for. That's what happened.
Under the context of?
Under the context of, oh, that person doesn't support me, you can do that. You can hit them.
That's never been done.
I'm just saying, if you hadn't seen.
But my thing is, like, I asked you to prove it, and you keep looking at your phone. You said you're going to prove it.
We're in the middle of a conversation. You want me to, like, stop the whole podcast?
Well, no. I'm just saying you can. But my thing is, you said you're going to look at that. Yeah, of course. I asked you to prove it. Prove it.
Just because you don't know,
like I said, what Osagie said, he actually brought context into it because the whole insurrection thing was a big argument, and this was something that had a narrative attached to it. Like the whole thing about inciting.
Because you know about it.
I know about a lot of things. Mm-hmm. In fact, I know a lot about a lot of things that you don't know either.
Look, I don't know why you try to argue so hard. Like, it happened. Why can't you accept it?
Because you refuse to prove it. Because you refuse to prove it.
But just because you don't have context doesn't mean that happened.
Well, just because you're saying that it happened doesn't mean it happened.
So if you don't know about it, didn't happen.
So it just happened because you said it happened.
Look, I'm fine if you don't believe it happened, but you're saying that there's things you don't know that happened. So
I asked you to prove it.
So
is there something wrong with proving it?
You can't hypothetically have a conversation without having proved it first.
We can have a conversation, which is what we're doing. But you're already writing off whatever I'm saying as already wrong because I won't believe what you said.
You're not going on with the context of what I'm giving you.
Wait, but I have to believe you because you're giving me the context.
We have to have a conversation about that context. So even if let's say you have a disagree with the context, right?
Okay.
Well, in this situation where you disagree, this is what you think of this conversation or situation. In this context where I'm saying what happened, right? What do you think about that situation? And that's how we
it's not. No, that's not the conversation. You're saying this is written into history. He did this.
Yes, but if you
and
don't
I said he didn't do that.
But I'm saying if you don't believe that, then give me your thoughts about what happened if you don't believe that, or what you think that context situation is, and give me your thoughts on what you think the context is based on what I'm saying. And that's how we have the conversation. And wait. So I'm saying if something happened, this is how I believed it happened. Blah blah blah.
Okay.
And that's how you're gonna give your opinion, right? Well, and I'm saying this thing happened. So you're saying, okay, if that happened, then this is what I believe.
So if I told you, look, all right, so Kamala Harris had like raped someone. Let's have a conversation about that.
If that happened, man, that would be a terrible thing. I wouldn't even like that person at all. I wouldn't say that just didn't happen. I would go look it up later.
But that's the thing. Like, you can't just necessarily just go out and just say, let's have a conversation about me saying, she did this, and like me give my opinion on something that I don't even believe actually happened. But do you see the problem with that?
I have no evidence.
Exactly, which is why you shouldn't give any context.
Let me finish what I just said. I have no evidence that's true or not true at that point in
Okay.
time. And if you do, then as a person I'm having a conversation with, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt that you found some information that you saw about that being true.
Well, here's my thing. I can't give my opinion on something that I don't believe to be true or not true.
Then just
let me finish my point, because I'm not gonna speculate on something that I already have doubts on whether it happened or didn't happen. But that's my thing. I already voiced my doubts.
Don't say it didn't.
I already voiced my doubts about those.
Then just say I'm not.
But even so, you still disagreed to even agree with those.
No. I think you pushed the issue that says it didn't happen.
No, I said I've never seen that happen, and then you said it happened, and I said, well, you have to show me. You're like, all right, fine, I'm gonna look, and you never looked.
Okay, but why do you need it right now?
Well, you're just I gave my doubts. And then you said, no, it did. And then I said, all right, well,
let's move
prove
on
it.
from the conversation.
Why didn't you move on?
Because you kept asking questions.
No, I said I didn't believe it. And then you said, no, it happened. Just because you don't know. This is what you said. These are your words. These are out of your mouth. You said, just because.
Everybody.
And this is what he said. Which is this one, and it's funny because this is the tactic that some people they'll use to try and belittle someone else's opinion on something.
I'm not belittling
but the
your
thing
opinion. I just disagree with it.
I will ask you something, and then you'll say, look, just because you don't know about something doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, because you didn't know.
Yeah, no, but that's the thing. No one knows what you know. I've been asking. I was like, I don't.
You're saying no one knows as if it wasn't in the news. And you said you do not watch the news, therefore you might not know.
No, I've already told you. I've watched the extreme on one side and I've watched the extreme on the other.
You said you don't pay attention to most
I said
company news.
No. I said I listened to the extreme on one side and I listened to the extreme on the other side, and then that led me to go towards the independent route, the independent media route, so that I can have much more of a neutral balance on things.
Yes, and there's certain news stations you don't watch.
I don't watch all news stations.
Have you watched all the rallies?
I don't watch all of them, but I've seen some.
So is it possible that you don't know what happened at some of those rallies?
Not to a detail, no.
So why would it be so hard to understand that something happened at a rally that you may not know about?
Well, wait. So, but you understand to a detail what happened at these rallies?
I might have seen that rally, and you might have not seen that.
No. That's not my question. So you understand to a detail what happened at these rallies?
There's some rallies I've seen and some haven't.
So why are you?
You might know.
So why are you
know.
holding me to a higher standard than
I'm not holding you to
yourself?
a higher standard. I'm giving you some information that we can have a conversation based off of, and you don't have that information, but you're just denying that happened at all.
I didn't. I asked you to prove it. You're
denying it all.
I asked you to prove it, and you refused to prove it.
Prove it another time. We're having a conversation right now.
Yeah, but my thing is, I still have the ability to say I don't believe that happened.
If you don't believe it,
and then you can't come back and just say, well, it's okay if you don't know factual information.
I'm saying it's okay if you don't have that information.
No, no, that's exactly what I just said.
You just don't have that information. That's fine.
And you do.
I did.
And I asked you to prove it because you do have it, and you said what?
That's not what I said.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It takes some time
okay, yeah.
It takes some time
shut him up.
to find you.
All right, we shut him up.
It takes time and effort to look for.
You said you have the information. You said you had the information. You said you had the information.
Dog,
right?
All you want to do.
Thomas, he said he had the information, right?
All right.
Osagie, he said he has the information.
There's a catalog of 1 billion videos on YouTube.
I asked you to just prove it because you said you have the information.
Believe it?
Is that crazy?
How about this? We'll table this conversation because I definitely want to tap back into this. But we're on the podcast and we got another topic to address. But I will say this to share.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say this to conclude this before we move to the next topic. For you and for you, if it comes to speculation, because I'll argue with anyone, and y'all all know me. I don't take anyone's fucking word. You could say that you've seen this. He could say he didn't see this. I'm going to go look up the information myself, and I'm going to make sure I research it. Because if you tell someone that it did happen and you don't have the information to prove it, then you're just speculating. That's a fact. And if he says it didn't happen and he has the evidence to prove that it didn't happen for whatever particular date or whatever someone said, and there's no article, whatever, backing this up or peer reviewing that fact that, he didn't say this, that means it didn't happen. Someone has to have evidence, though. That's why I brought up the Andrew Tate thing, because the majority of the masses in America, whenever they see news, they don't care about evidence. They don't care about what actually happened. These two women have recused against Andrew Tate a long ass time ago, and we're still in the middle of 2024. Andrew Tate being sexist, and I hate the way he talks. He hates women, and he's a sexual trafficker. 90% of the women still say this, even though he's been proven innocent. So it's like, evidence still to a T doesn't prove anything, because if you want to be a leftist and believe whatever the media is, that's your own dumbass fault, because the information is out there. So if somebody didn't do something and you really want to find out, you'll know the information. But that's just the way that, especially in America, that's just the way it goes, unfortunately, because that's why I tell people the education system in America is fucked, because the media has so much more influence and power over what you should be actually researching information for yourself. If someone tells you that this person is doing this and all the news medias are doing this, because that drama drives traffic more than anything else in engagement, that's what they're going to do. And if you're not smart enough to go in and vouch and search the information yourself, that's your own fucking fault. And I don't deal with people like that. Show me the information, my nigga, that shit really happened, and we'll shut this shit down. Until then, I'm going to believe what I want, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to go research the information. If I've done countless research, because I know Pierre does more research on Trump than anyone. If he said someone didn't do that shit, you got to really prove him wrong for him to actually believe that. I know that's for a fact because I talk to him every day. So you know what I mean? But I react to him. I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I'm not saying he's right or wrong. That's just me. I don't like people when they speculate. If I'm wrong, prove it to me right now, or stop talking to me about this shit, because that's just how it goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my thing is I'm not saying that you're lying or anything like that. But my thing is I'm just saying that I don't believe it to happen. And you're saying that it does. So, and you're saying that you have the information. So when I just simply asked, all right, we'll just pull it up. And then if it takes you saying, all right, well, I can't because it's going to do all this other stuff, then you don't have the information. So I'm not going to make my judgment on whether or not that happened or not. But I mean, but still, going back to the initial thing of what I think caused the uptick in violence is the media. And that's what I've been saying since the beginning. I think the media has kind of brainwashed a lot of people to believe a lot of things, and they've increased the political violence narrative and sentiment in the country to, pit a lot of people against each other. Like the whole race wars. I think a lot of that stuff happens because of media. I think economic standing and stuff like that, a lot of that happens because of media. The political stuff is media. All of that.
Completely agree with that.
And I feel like even the rise of violence itself, I don't think we could tie that to one person. Even if, let's say for example, if Trump was having these outright speeches about you should do this or do or that, violence is an act of demographics, whatever the economy is going on, that particular region, all these things. It's not like no one person has ever had, in my opinion, to my knowledge, a history of violence to make it just rise just by saying some shit. Because, like, even Hitler, like, you know, he's frowned upon by billions of people, but he even still doesn't have that control of inciting violence. You know what I'm saying? People are going to commit crime if they need to do it for a particular reason or if they trying to achieve something. For example, you know, riots happening or whatever usually happens to do with something that either anti-government or doing this or whatever. But that's a government is just like a whole conglomerate of people. It's not just one particular person. That's why we have checks and balances to stop that shit from letting some crazy ass motherfucker having too much power, or in this case, the president or whatever. Because if that's the case, what they do, they go after you and impeach you and do all those other things. So I don't personally think that one person can make a full nation start acting fucking crazy like that. I think there's a lot of things involved, but I do think media definitely has a great influence, if not more than most things, because that's like, you know, they kind of have the abusive nature of they have their own networks, freedom of speech.
I think influence is power, though, and I think what you just said, I think kind of speaks to that. Is when you have the influence of the media and you have the influence of the people, you tend to be in a place where you can gain power either through the money that you can coerce people to give you, or maybe not coerce, but like influence them to be able to have them support you, to be able to donate to your PAC, or to be able to drum up people to go out and get other people to be encouraged to vote for you. Whatever the case is, influence becomes your power, right? And the more influence that you have, I think the more power that you have to actually influence people even further away from the people who are just supporters of you. So there's a lot of other things going along with that, including media, XYZ, but that base piece of being influence. Oof.
But see, and I'll even speak to that, because you do have a point. If someone is in that type of position where they have that, if they actually have that kind of influence to incite violence or whatever, this is a more reason why people should be educating themselves to know who exactly they're fucking voting for. Because if this person becomes in the race or the popular vote, what were you doing in your fucking state? Who were you voting for? Because there's going to be a Congress member that's supporting either the left or the right, or Democratic or Republican. And because all of a sudden Trump is a big ass bitch and he's going to be president now, were you actually taking the steps to go educate yourself about what's going on in your area and who's going to be in Congress to actually go and support him when it comes to the electoral college vote? Niggas don't educate themselves. So then they get upset that this person is in power, you know, or, you know, Kamala Harris or Trump or Joe Biden, and we just went through 4 years of bullshit. Everybody's wanted Biden or the Democrats to win. Now all of a sudden Biden is the bad guy and he's taking a step down, and Kamala Harris is the new wave, whatever. But do you know what Kamala Harris is actually preaching, what she's pushing, before you just go and vote her just because she's a woman, which is still a bad fucking reason to vote for anyone. If he's black, if he's a woman, it's not a good reason to vote.
I would like to also highlight that, like, just a minute ago, people loved Joe Biden, and now everyone hates him. Yeah, and there's a reason why.
It's gonna flip. Yeah, like it's a cycle that's gonna happen.
And I feel like that's all media. They have a narrative that they're gonna run, and whoever's, you know, funding those particular platforms to continue to run, you know, they're gonna have a narrative or some type of news that they want to sway the social soul. They want to sway the soul of, like, the nation to go a certain way. And one moment they can say, hey, we want everyone to love you. And they can say, all right, now we're done with you. And, you know, by Sunday, they'll hate you. And it happened to Dave Chappelle. It's happened to, what's it called? What's that one, the other comedian that got canceled? They made him apologize.
Kevin Hart?
I think it was Kevin Hart. I think because they did make Kevin Hart
for the Oscar thing.
Yeah. They made him apologize, and he apologized, and it happened to a basketball player,
Kyrie.
Yeah, Kyrie.
Kyrie, man.
Yeah, like the Kyrie one was crazy. The Kyrie one was crazy. Like they'll tell you, like, hey, this person, you know, we love him. Everybody go show him love. And then all of a sudden, they don't like this person. Yeah. All right.
What we got?
We got the Paris Olympic round robin.
Ooh. What is the The bracket, man. Oh man.
This is the bracket. I got it pulled up right now.
You got it.
So we're looking at B-boys and B-girls. All right, B-boys. Actually, should we do B-girls?
Let's go B-girl.
All right, so B-girls. Group A, we have 671, Sunny, Vanessa, and winner of pre-qualifier. I don't know what that means.
Wait, what?
Winner of pre-qualifier.
Oh, I remember.
They had 17 on the list.
Yeah, so that might have been what that was, like winner of pre-qualifier. It might be an extra person that they have unidentified.
So they're gonna do like a tiebreaker for that person?
Well, I mean, yeah, I would assume because if it's 16 people, that's usually the number for the round robin, and you got 4 brackets, right? 4, 4, 4, 4. If there's an extra person, somebody's battling for the last spot. That's what I'm assuming. I could be wrong, but that's what it sounds like.
All right, so who do y'all think is gonna win? Even though there's a ghost.
Who are the 2 people competing for the spot? Does it show?
Well, no, it's just for Group A. Who do you think is going to be Group A? 671, Sunny, Vanessa, or winner of the qualifier?
I'm kind of between 671 and
671. Yeah,
I'm between 671 and Sunny. Sunny's got far and a lot of things, but I think 671 had been showing out for quite a while, so she might take this group.
Okay.
To be honest, I haven't really seen much of any of the other people besides 671 and Sunny. So, like, I don't even know who's going to be the qualified person, but I want Sunny because that's, another USA.
Yeah, US.
So I'm always going to vote for my country.
I like to see Vanessa up there, too. I'm a little biased.
Yeah, she's going to definitely do well.
I'm a little biased, but I like to see Vanessa. All right, Group B. We got Nika, Sissy, Logistic, and Raygun.
Nika and Logistics for sure.
Yeah.
Look,
I'd say one of my favorite is definitely Sissy.
Honestly,
I love Sissy.
She kills it. She kills it for sure. This is a hard one. I feel like there's some good B-girls in here. I haven't seen too much of Raygun, but
Nika's definitely going to be up there.
Yeah.
That's a young one, right? She's like 16 or 17.
I mean, two advanced, right?
I think, I think she had already advanced.
Well, I'm saying is 2 advanced from each group, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, honestly, I would take Nika and Logistics out of this group.
I think that would make the most sense. But I think Sissy she has a way of proving people when they discount her.
I'm ready to see it.
All right. Group C, Ami, Auntie, El Manmori, and Zingy Z.
I'm right there with you, man. That's a hard name to say.
Yeah, Ami's for sure coming out of that. Easy.
So Ami, Auntie, El Mamori, and Zing Z.
I don't even know who the other 3 are.
Emma Manoy and Ying Z, I haven't seen too much of. I've seen Auntie, but to be honest, I would probably go Ami and maybe Elma Manoy, even if I haven't seen much of it.
2-time Red Bull winner.
I don't know what that is, but Zing Z, I think China just knows how to, make. Yeah. All right, Group D. We got Ayumi, Stephanie, Kate, and Senorita Carlita.
See, Carlota, man, she's a beast. I think she's gonna come out of this one in Ayumi.
I don't know about Carlota.
Man,
I would say maybe Kate.
I think it'd be Kate and Ayumi.
Yeah, I was gonna go.
Think so?
Yeah, Kate and Ayumi.
Oof.
Yeah, I would put them. And then they have this. They have this versus. I guess this is from the pre-qualifier, and it's either going to be India or
Talash.
Yeah.
India.
Oh, if that ends
but
up becoming the case.
Talash has an Olympic flag right next to her thing.
Yeah, she's probably like under a separate agreement under the Olympic group, because I know they have a few that are pulled in based on not a country delegation, but like based on being pulled in as a representative of like a different piece of the world. So maybe that's the case. But who do you think are going to take that spot? And I feel like I might have to change my Group A.
I'd still think 671 is going to be up there. She's been training, and I think Sunny would be I think she may be the second one. India, I think Sunny's better than India for sure, and I think Vanessa. It depends on how it depends on that day. I think it's going to depend.
I think India is going to make it hard if she gets into that. If she basically wins that pre-qualifier.
Yeah, but I don't know who Talash is, but I honestly have no information on her. But I will say 671 is always proven to be strong, and Sunny has always proved to come out on top. So, I mean, it's hard to contest against those two.
It must be a tight group.
All right, B-Boys, let's talk about it. We got Group A, Sugar Kicks, Victor, Hero 10, Lightning.
God damn. What the fuck? That's like anybody could come out of that group. I'm going to be honest. Bro.
Sugar Kicks, Victor, Hero 10, Lightning.
I mean, we are talking about the Olympics.
If I had to choose, though, it'd probably be, I say strong, it'd be Hero 10 and Victor. Those are my two picks. Like,
I think Sugar Kicks is, I think it'd be Sugar Kicks and Victor. Sugar Kicks got history.
Hard. Yeah, I'm kind of hard pressed between Hero 10 and Sugar Kicks because they both have so much power, ferocity, like speed, complexity to their movements and variations that they really just can throw anything. But I would favor Hero 10 and his style just off of personal aesthetics. Like I like what he's been able to do, even if you fall in the footsteps of other B-boys, whatever the case is. I like what Hero 10 has to bring to the floor, and then I'm gonna go with Victor. Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah, I think
I got some homework to do.
you gotta take some notes.
Thomas,
I think the hypest battle in that group is for sure gonna be Sugar Kicks versus Hero 10. I for sure believe that. Like that
I don't know.
battle.
I think that's gonna be a little bit toned down.
I mean, it's gonna be power versus power. Like
Yeah, but my thing is like power can only go so high.
That line is not going to be dynamic. It's going to be high level power the whole way through.
Well, yeah, and here's the thing: power, I think, has a limitation in terms of like appeal. So you can only appeal to someone so much with power versus like something with musicality that has like an infinite range of being appealing.
We saw that at the HotPot breaking games. Like some of those musicality bits got people hyped.
Yeah, and sometimes people like. It doesn't look like it take as much energy or effort, but it really does, have that power to like really, sway the audience one way or the other. All right. Group B, Phil Wizard, Danny. This is Danny Dan, and Kuzia and J Attack.
probably Phil Wizard.
I would say Danny
and Kuzia,
but.
I think Michiko was saying that Danny Dan was hurt. So if that's true, chances of you coming out of round robin hurt, it's not very likely. I mean, you got to go. What is that?
That's gonna be difficult.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 8 rounds apiece on an injury. Like no, that's not.
And 3 of these people, I think.
I'm sorry, 6 rounds for one dancer because they have to go against 3 different people. So,
and three of these folks made the Olympics off of a major event before the qualifiers. So if I were to go like just off of the information I have right now, Phil Wizard and Danny Dan would be my favorites, but we're going to see how bad the injury is.
Yeah. Phil Wizard, Danny Dan, Kuzia, J Attack. J Attack don't have enough information. Danny, strong dancer. So it's hard to see me. It like if we're not factoring in injuries, I think Danny and Phil Wizard. Due to the severity, I don't know how severe the injuries are. If it's something that he can't even stand on, if it's something like that, then obviously I don't think he's gonna come out on top. But I still hold him to a higher degree than Kuzia. Group C, Jeffro, Leggett, Lee, Hong Ten.
What the fuck, bro? That's crazy.
Oh man!
Like, I'm always rooting for Jeffro. H-Town, hold it down. That's my boy. So he's the only one I know personally in the Olympics. So
all of these dancers are going to be coming into the round robin fresh. So they're going to have a full set. They're going to have all the energy they need. No cramping.
There's no earlier that day.
Yeah.
So
obviously, we're gonna want Jeffro to be up there. And I
personally go with Hong Ten as my second. I mean, that's my favorite b-boy. So
I would say Jeffro is probably the strongest in this section when it comes to the musicality thing. Like, there's almost no limit to that. And I think a close second would probably be Lee. I'd say Jeffro and Lee.
So we've actually seen these Olympic events go on a few times with these competitors in the events, right? We've had 2 rounds of OQS, and then there were several events before. So I think for me, Jeffro and Lee have scored the highest in some of these events. I'm going to go with the bet that Jeffro and Lee are probably going to get out of this bracket.
Can't complain with that. So
you already know I'm rocking Jeffro. For sure.
Ace time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeffro and Lee is what I think. Thomas, you said who?
Jeffrey and Hong Ten.
Osagie.
Jeffro.
Just Jeffro.
Just Jeffro.
He's the only one that gets out.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean, that's fair. All right. Last one. We have Amir, Menno, Billy, and Quake. Amir and
Yeah, I got Amir for
Menno.
sure.
I'd say Amir and Menno.
I know nothing about Billy.
Yeah, is that a real B-boy name?
He's from Morocco.
Fucking Billy.
Oh, wow.
He's from Morocco. He won the Africa Cypher.
You couldn't come up with a better name? Fucking Billy?
Oh my God, dude. That might be his name, bro.
I mean, yeah, but how many fucking Billies are there out there?
I just mentioned.
Fucking
How many Thomases?
yeah, you don't see me sign with my fucking first name.
Magugu.
Hey, it's a name you'll never see anywhere else, so you know. Fucking Billy. I mean, no disrespect.
Nothing wrong with Thomas. You could go to Thomas the Train.
Nothing wrong with. There's nothing wrong with Billy. It's just all right, fucking Billy. So if I see another Billy, it's like which Billy is which. But I got Menno and Amir because I don't know who the fuck Billy is, and I damn sure don't know who the fuck Quake is. Like
Quake is. I think Quake's from China.
Chinese Taipei, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So Quake was showing out, but I think last time we had a conversation about Quake, there's something against certain people that his style just doesn't match up with, because I think he has a lot of those kind of setups that can be taken comedically a little bit.
Yeah.
And, for some judges, some people, that just kind of doesn't work as well. So I'm going to go ahead and agree and go with Amir and Menno.
Amir and Menno. All right. Well, looks like the bracket is set. Any final thoughts on this bracket list and the 2024 Paris Olympic Games, guys?
I'm betting money. Putting money on the table.
On who?
Look, it's gonna be $5 though. It's not gonna be big
shit,
money.
that ain't no.
If you actually had to put $200,
If I had to put $200 down,
who you think is actually gonna win the whole thing?
Win the whole thing?
Mm-hmm. And you owe me $200 if you get this wrong.
I owe you $200 because you gonna do it.
I want to know.
Look. All my eggs are in the basket for Jeffro. That's the homie. I truly think he could do it. Historically, on the competitions, they really gave Lee some votes, and I mean they weren't undeserved, but they gave Lee first place both times. So I think he's really going to be up there, and I think it's going to be probably a really tough final battle, whoever gets in the final. But I'm putting my eggs in the basket for Jeff.
So you think Lee's going to be in the final?
For sure.
So Lee and Jeffro. Thomas?
Yeah, I'm rooting for Jeffro, man. Like,
if you have $200.
Yeah, probably Jeffro.
I take that bet.
He has a lot of.
Sorry?
You already know where my money's going.
All right, y'all better be right.
That man got money?
Oh yeah, who do you think?
Yeah, I think Jeffro has a. I think his thing is just that he has to realize that he's just on the same level as all these other guys. I think historically we've seen these guys always get the limelight. They've been in the dancing world a lot longer than he or I or anyone else that we particularly know on that physical level. But I think Jeffro has the highest chance. I think so. Like if you're looking at it from a stats perspective, I think he does. He has everything. So,
rooting for the boy.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that's gonna make it. That's gonna hit the final minute on the episode. Thank you again, guys. Thank you for joining us on the HotPot podcast. Like and subscribe, and also join us on YouTube and Instagram. Also, join us on Instagram. Yeah. Actually, just join us on X. So join us on X and follow for more of our footage from DreamCon. We just went through that event successfully. And yeah, like I said, again, like and subscribe.
You got five!